Okay, this is how you protect your energy and have good spiritual hygiene. It honestly just comes down to being super picky with everything you surround yourself with and come into contact with. For example, with people, you cannot allow just anybody to have access to your energy. It is precious. Just like if you've cut somebody off, maybe time has passed and you've forgiven them, and that's great, but that doesn't mean that they are now allowed to have a pass back into your life, to talk to you again, to absorb your energy, to waste your time. No, your energy is more important than that. Similarly, when you're meeting new people, have a checklist, have high standards with who you allow to come into your life and spend time with and listen to, because whatever they're going on about, whatever they're saying, however they're acting, you are absorbing all of that energy. So make sure you surround yourself with positive people. Now let's get on to spiritual hygiene. What are you consuming on a daily basis? Whether that be on TV, on Instagram, on TikTok. We're all on social media mostly all day, every day. So make sure that you are tailoring your feeds. Who are you following? What are you constantly seeing on a daily basis? Because you might not consciously realize when you're just flicking through things on a daily basis, but it is having an effect on you. So you just got to clean out everything, whether that be people or followers and pictures you see on social media, and think, is this actually serving me? And most importantly, is this having a positive effect on me and my well-being? Things I wish I could tell my teenage self. Stop trying to stray away from the passions you always had as a child and a young teen in an effort to grow up faster and pick something that's more stable and reliable and makes more sense, because those passions were planted in you for a reason. They're never going to go away, and you can spend your teenage years stopping doing them, but I promise you, when you're in your 20s, you're going to circle right back around to what you used to do as a kid, because that is who you are. And the further that you deny that, the more you're straying away from your most authentic self. Please try new things. Don't be scared about being put in new scary social situations and having to talk to new people, because you're never going to get this time back. Try out a new piano class. Try and get into sport. Do all of the things you're terrified to do, because now is the best time to do it. It's all about putting yourself in uncomfortable situations so you can grow as a person and figure out what you want to do in life. Please stop stressing about breakups. You're going to get your heart broken over and over and over again, and throughout all of those experiences you are going to find yourself, and you are going to keep altering and changing the list of your ideal partner, which is currently so far from what you wanted as a kid. It's so different, and that's an amazing thing, and it wouldn't be like that had you not gone through breakups and gone through tough times. Be grateful for those, welcome them into your life, welcome change. Please stop stressing about whether it's going to work out and whether you're doing enough right now, because everything works out. Literally everything does. You'll be fine. Do not try to force yourself to stay in relationships or friendships just because nothing bad has happened. It is perfectly acceptable, and you do not need to feel guilty for walking away from people because you've outgrown them and they don't align with you anymore. That is perfectly acceptable and normal, and that's how you know you're going to be encouraging your self-growth and development journey. And lastly, stop trying to find such a large friendship group, because you eventually get there and then you realise actually having 3 really close, trustworthy best friends is all you really need. Trust me when I say what's coming is better than what's gone. I promise you. I've been through periods in my life where I've lost a whole friendship group. I've lost the love of my life. I've lost opportunities. I've been rejected from things I really thought I wanted. Every time you go through a period of loss and you think, how am I ever going to recover from this? It always gets better. Something better is always on its way. The universe will not close a door on you without opening a new one. So if you're struggling right now and you're dealing with loss, grieve it, feel your feelings, but just know this is not the end of the story. You're not just meant to lose things and then suffer for the rest of your life. What's aligned with you and what's meant for you is on its way, so get excited. Everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own destiny. Just because somebody's winning right now doesn't mean you're not going to win. Just because something really big is happening for somebody now doesn't mean that you're failing. And especially, everyone has their own timeline. Some people are meant to succeed and get married and move country when they're 20. Some people have to wait until they're 40, but that's because they have to go through other lessons and other experiences first. So always be grateful for your own timeline and the way that your life is laid out, because it's laid out especially like that for you, because that's the way you're meant to experience it. It's not your fault, and I say this because we need to give other people more grace, and we need to especially give ourselves more grace, because it's so easy to pass judgment on others and be like, what are you doing? Or even say to yourself, why do I keep making the same mistake, and why do I keep going back to this person? But life is tough, and we're all just out here trying to navigate our day as best we can, alone, sometimes without any support, trying to regulate our emotions, trying to balance the daily stresses of life. Sometimes things get tough, and a lot of the times we make the wrong decision. And if there's anything I've learned, it's that whatever you went through as a kid, and we all went through something, we all have some sort of trauma, whether that's watching your parents get divorced or going through a time where you were really lonely or you felt super insecure or unworthy, that translates to having low value experiences in our adult life. And that's what makes it so hard to leave or learn the lesson. And although it isn't your fault, it is your responsibility to take control of your life and make better decisions. You do have the power to heal, and you do have the power to move on, and you do have the power to walk away from some things that you thought you just couldn't live without. How to stop seeking validation. I struggled with this for years. I was such a people pleaser and a perfectionist, and I clinged to other people's approval of me so that I could finally feel good about myself. But those little moments of validation from other people are fleeting, and it's not a sustainable solution to actually growing your self-worth and feeling good in your own skin. Now, seeking validation is caused by self-doubt, lack of self-love, low self-worth. You are clinging to other people's opinions of you because you don't trust your own and you don't feel good enough. You also probably fear being rejected or abandoned, and we've all been there, but how do we fix these things? 1. Stop asking for advice. Why? Because your opinion and your judgment is good enough. You don't need confirmation for any of your choices from anybody else. 2. You are no longer your past self. For example, if you grew up as a teenager feeling like you were ugly or you weren't enough or you weren't confident or you weren't smart enough, you're not that version of you anymore. You might now be in your 20s and you've evolved, you've had a glow up and you've learnt so many things. But when you think about yourself and who you are, you still might see yourself as the insecure 15-year-old version of yourself. And I struggled with that for years. So in this case, you have to think, if my life started today as the person that I am now, today was the first day of my life as a person that I've grown to be, without any of my past emotional baggage, how would I go about my day? How would I feel about myself? It would be very different. 3, start spending time alone to start falling in love with yourself and realize, actually, I'm a pretty cool person and spending the whole day alone is fun and cool and I can do it. And I don't actually need anybody else. It's nice to spend time with others, but I don't need to be dependent on them. When people disapprove of you, sit with it. Their disapproval is a singular moment in time. They don't disapprove of you as a person. That doesn't make you a bad person, and they don't have the power to control your self-worth. And no matter how large their disapproval is of you, it is not an accurate reflection of who you are and what you deserve, or even if what you're doing is right or wrong. Because everybody's opinion of you, no matter what it is a projection of themselves, their mindset, how they've grown up, based on their trauma, their triggers. They are just projecting. We all are. Which is why it's so important to stop taking other people's opinions on board, because they're never accurate. They are actually invalid, so they can never provide you true validation. The only person that can ever do that for you is you. Which leads me to my next point. Take time to understand yourself so you can trust yourself more. Because once you do the inner work and you take the time to get to know yourself, so you can finally reach such a strong sense of self where you're like, I know exactly who I am. I know what I need. I know what I like, what I don't like, what I'll stand for, all of that. And you fall in love with that. Other people's opinions don't even come close because you know who you are at your core that much. So whatever people have to say, it doesn't matter because they don't know you on the deep level you know yourself. And finally, practice makes perfect. Wear the outfit you're scared to wear and go out in it. That crazy, risky choice that you're not sure about so you can start believing in yourself. You know those people that just copy everything you do? Well, we stay unbothered. Why? Because no one can do it like you. We all have a unique power that cannot be replicated, so do you and be original always. As the Queen, Kim K, said, they can steal your recipe, but the sauce will never taste the same. You have a special energy, aura, body language, expression. No one can articulate it the way you can, so nothing you do can be replicated. So let them copy, because at the end of the day, you're the original one. You're staying true to your authenticity and your life path. So every time someone copies you, don't be threatened that they'll win, because they won't. As they copy you, they are straying from their unique talents and their true path. So let them waste their time and don't waste your precious energy on letting it bother you. You can take a look at me, for example. You might think you're 22 years old, you get to be a full-time social media content creator post-uni, you're chilling, you got the brand deals, you get to work from home. But what they don't see is the 14-year-old version of me who set up her first ever YouTube channel while she was in secondary school. It barely got any views. She did it for about a year and a half, consistently put out videos, and then ultimately gave up with it because it didn't go anywhere. They don't see see the 16-year-old version of me who set up a fashion blog website online that nobody ever clicked onto or read. They don't see the 17-year-old version of me who set up her first online jewelry business that didn't make enough sales. And they don't see 18-year-old me who finally decided she wanted to take her Instagram serious, so she was out and about banking Instagram content to try and be consistent and hopefully grow up a following, and she had to do that consistently for 2 years before she saw any results in her following growing when she was 20 years old. If I had let my first, second, or even third attempt stop me, I wouldn't have modeled or worked with brands or grown my following on multiple platforms, or even had you right now sitting there watching me on your screen right now. That's why you gotta keep trying, because eventually you will find the thing that works for you.
I am not the kind of person that has the best year of my life every year. Like, at the end of 2020, I sat down with my two best friends, we were reflecting on the year, and I literally said, like, genuinely, this was the worst year of my life.
Same with 2021. The entire summer I was heavily depressed and didn't see anyone. So it's safe to say I have had many years where I was just like, that was just not it. That was not a good year. But 2022 genuinely was the best year of my life, and I've never experienced anything like it.
So I was doing some thinking, like, what was the magic formula that got me that? Because I need to replicate it.
And I'm going to share with you guys what I did to make it my best year. 1, I did not hesitate to cut anybody off. I feel like so much stress can come from stuff like situationships and boys and even toxic friendships. In 2022, I was not playing. I had gotten so comfortable with my solitude that I was like, I'd rather be completely alone than put up with any BS from anybody else. And that's exactly what I did. Like, no one stressed me out in 2022 because I simply did not allow it into my life. And that leads me to 2, I solo dated every single week. I fell in love with my solitude more than I thought was even possible. And so much peace and comfort and love comes with that. My confidence grew as a result. My pride and self-esteem skyrocketed while I was doing it. I got amazing new experiences. I got to go see Kalani by myself. I went to a jazz bar alone, and it made me feel really fulfilled. It was the first year I wasn't heartbroken in like the last 5 years, because I finally mastered the art of detachment. The crushes I had and the dates that I went on that just didn't work out didn't affect me so dramatically because I wasn't putting them on a pedestal. So when it was over, I was like, okay, and moved on with my life. 4, the consistent theme of the entire year was focusing on myself, my work, and leveling up. For the first 6 months of the year, I was just focused on getting a first class degree and graduating. After that, it was doing the best I could at the job I was working. And in the last few months of the year, I was so obsessed with creating the best content possible. I was so clear about my vision and my passion and being creatively inspired that nothing else could get in the way or distract me from that. And when you're obsessed with something that you're good at, benefits you, benefits other people, and makes you money, your happiness goes all the way up. And that was it. I stayed in my own lane. I focused on having new experiences and new memories. I got way fussier about the company that I had around me. And I worked on the things I was most passionate about. And it ended in a year full of achievement and fulfillment.
When I tell you I have finally cracked the code on how to get the most out of life and always be happy,
The secret is to find the joy and excitement in every single little mundane task in your daily life.
because if you don't, you'll probably be miserable and bored 24/7 with a negative outlook of the world. So what you need to do is romanticize your life always. And I know everyone throws around that term, but how do you actually do it and get stuff out of it? 1, anytime you're stuck on a long drive or in traffic, instead of complaining about the situation, you're going to put on an audiobook or you're going to put on an inspiring podcast to change your mood and change the narrative of that situation. 2, go to a Starbucks drive-thru for no reason. Get the sweetest latte, park up in the car park, drink it, look at the sky, be alone with your thoughts. No work, no stress, just vibes. Go on a hot girl walk, but you have to try a different route and become a tourist in your own city. Explore. My favorite is when you're picking your outfit out for the day, decide to dress like your favorite movie character or celebrity. I live to do this with Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada. I wasn't joking. When you're out and about doing errands, strut around your city and listen to a movie soundtrack in your headphones. Stay off social media for 24 hours and learn to entertain yourself without it for the day. Read a book in a day, bake, whatever. Buy yourself flowers. Stay in a hotel room alone for no reason and just enjoy the bedding, the room service and the spa. Wake up earlier than usual to watch the sunrise. Pick the prettiest recipe you can find on Pinterest and make that for lunch. And take candid pictures of every little thing that brings you joy throughout the day. So why should you do all of these things? When you're doing this, you're taking charge of your day. You're doing different things every single day. You're changing up your otherwise boring, mundane, regular, repeated routine. You're adding little moments of magic throughout your day that you can look forward to every single day when you wake up. That's what makes life more enjoyable. That's how you romanticize your life. And that's how you feel like the main character.
Next time you feel insecure, I want you to come back to this video and remember this. You have so many silent admirers on this planet that look at you in awe.
That wish they had your smile, energy, humor, style, intelligence. Or they're just supporting everything you do from a distance because they're too shy to say it.
you make more of an impact and spread more positive energy than you'll ever know. So remember that the next time you're doubting yourself. Lucky girl syndrome is the way forward. And if you don't know what it is or how to do it, then you're in the right place. This is the best trend to ever exist on TikTok because it's finally making manifestation easy to understand and accessible for so many people. So what is it? Lucky girl syndrome is believing that you're the luckiest girl in the world, everything you want is already on its way to you, and the universe is literally rigged in your favor. The way I implement this into my daily lifestyle is through two methods. One, affirmations, and I use my vision board to help me with this. You can use a vision board or even just a list on your notes app of all of your goals. You need to look at your vision board or your list of goals every single day for at least a minute. And during this minute, while you're soaking up all of those images of your dream lifestyle, you're going to affirm its reality. You're going to take in all of those goals that you've mapped out and envision it coming into your real life. If you have a bunch of money goals written down, I am a money magnet. I am financially stable. Money just flows to me, etc. Method number 2 of Lucky Girl Syndrome. Get yourself a gratitude journal so that you can be vibrating at the correct frequency to actually manifest things into your reality. One thing a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to Lucky Girl Syndrome is you have to be grateful for the things you've already attracted into your life. Because once you focus on how abundant you already are, how you've already gotten so many things that you once wished for in the past, you'll be more confident at manifesting more things into your life. And when you're operating at a frequency where you have high gratitude, more things will flow into your life. That's just the law of manifestation. So every single night before bed, I jot a few bullet points in my journal of all of the things I was grateful for that day. And then underneath, I'll say things like, everything works out for me, opportunities are always flowing to me, etc. I cannot tell you how much this has changed my life. I've manifested new friendships into my life, more money into my life, random opportunities that I didn't do anything for, they just came flying at me. Because I embody Lucky Girl Syndrome. I live it, believe it, breathe it every single day.
Okay, this is how you protect your energy and have good spiritual hygiene. It honestly just comes down to being super picky with everything you surround yourself with and come into contact with. For example, with people, you cannot allow just anybody to have access to your energy. It is precious. Just like if you've cut somebody off, maybe time has passed and you've forgiven them, and that's great, but that doesn't mean that they are now allowed to have a pass back into your life, to talk to you again, to absorb your energy, to waste your time. No, your energy is more important than that. Similarly, when you're meeting new people, have a checklist, have high standards with who you allow to come into your life and spend time with and listen to, because whatever they're going on about, whatever they're saying, however they're acting, you are absorbing all of that energy. So make sure you surround yourself with positive people. Now let's get on to spiritual hygiene. What are you consuming on a daily basis? Whether that be on TV, on Instagram, on TikTok. We're all on social media mostly all day, every day. So make sure that you are tailoring your feeds. Who are you following? What are you constantly seeing on a daily basis? Because you might not consciously realize when you're just flicking through things on a daily basis, but it is having an effect on you. So you just got to clean out everything, whether that be people or followers and pictures you see on social media, and think, is this actually serving me? And most importantly, is this having a positive effect on me and my well-being?
If you have ever compared yourself or your journey to anybody else or felt envious of somebody else, then you need to watch this. The trick is that anytime you look at somebody and you're like, oh, I wish I had that, or they have this or this or this, and it's so unfair, blah, 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 and you're comparing yourself and feeling jealous, you're now going to use that person as inspiration because you're getting triggered by their success, their beauty, whatever they have for a reason. You should use it as a clue. The universe, your body, your mind, your heart is signaling to you, this is where you're meant to be going. You like this and you desire this for a reason. You should be using the world and everybody in it as a walking Pinterest board. Oh, I like the way that person is carrying themselves, their confidence, their energy. I love the way that person is dressed. I love how that person got financially abundant at such a young age. I think that's what I want for myself. It's giving you more clarity on where you want to go in life, because figuring out what you want to do is confusing enough as it is. And then instead of going through a downward comparison spiral, you're going to ask yourself, okay, I like this, now how am I going to do it? Because you are capable of everything, and jealousy and envy is only a result of thinking that I have this weakness or flaw, which means I'll never be able to achieve that. A little bit of self-belief goes a long way in destroying any feelings of jealousy. Because yeah, that person might have everything and be so successful, but guess what? So can I. You are literally self-sabotaging your entire life and you don't even know it. How? Because you keep identifying with your weaknesses. Okay, so you've gone out a few times, spoken to strangers, and you felt like you came across socially awkward. So in turn, you then say, I am a socially awkward person. I am a shy person. I am not a confident, secure person. None of that is true. But now you're feeding that idea to yourself and you're forming that as your new identity. just because you had a couple of negative experiences. And now you have all of these self-limiting beliefs and you start holding yourself back from doing more things like that, putting yourself out there, stepping outside of your comfort zone. When instead what you could have done is, okay, I went to that event and I was super quiet and shy. That doesn't define who I am as a person. I learned a lesson from it. At the next event, I am going to develop an alter ego. I'm going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to embody the most confident energy and try again. And then when you start acting in the way of your desired self, that can form your identity. Because then you have the most positive self-image and self-belief.